Biafra and the quest to determine its future. A deep and in-depth analysis conducted by Biafra International News Channel. The concept of self-determination has been a recurring theme in the history of nations across the globe. It represents the fundamental right of a people to determine their own political status, pursue their economic, social, and cultural development, and ultimately shape their own destiny. One such region where the struggle for self-determination has been fervently advocated is the southeastern part of Nigeria, commonly known as Biafra. Biafra, a region predominantly inhabited by the Igbo ethnic group, has a long and complex history of seeking autonomy from Nigeria. The roots of the Biafran quest for self-determination can be traced back to the pre-colonial era when various ethnic groups inhabited distinct territories across what is now Nigeria. The amalgamation of these disparate entities by British colonial administrators in 1914 laid the groundwork for ethnic tensions and power struggles that persist to this day. Following Nigeria's independence from British rule in 1960, ethnic tensions escalated, culminating in a series of violent conflicts. The most notable of these conflicts was the Nigerian Civil War, also known as the Biafran War, which erupted in 1967 when the southeastern region declared its independence as the Republic of Biafra under the leadership of Colonel Chukwuemeka Odumegwu Ojukwu. The war, which lasted until 1970, resulted in immense human suffering and loss of life, with estimates of up to 2 million deaths, primarily due to famine and disease. Although the secessionist movement was suppressed, the underlying grievances of the Igbo people regarding marginalization, political exclusion, and economic exploitation persisted in the post-war era. Despite being a significant economic hub with abundant natural resources, the southeastern region of Nigeria has continued to grapple with underdevelopment, infrastructural neglect, and systemic discrimination. Corruption has also been a pervasive issue within the Nigerian political landscape, exacerbating the disparities between regions and exacerbating the grievances of marginalized groups like the Igbo. The endemic corruption within Nigeria's governmental institutions has stifled development efforts, perpetuated social inequalities, and eroded public trust in the Nigerian state. Against this backdrop, the call for Biafran independence has resurged in recent years, fueled by a sense of disillusionment with the Nigerian government and a desire for self-determination. Proponents of Biafran independence argue that the region's distinct cultural identity, historical heritage, and socio-economic potential warrant its autonomy from Nigeria. They envision a future where the people of Biafra can govern themselves, harness their resources for the benefit of their own community, and chart a path towards prosperity and self-sufficiency. However, the quest for Biafran independence faces numerous challenges and complexities. The Nigerian government, keen to maintain the territorial integrity of the nation, has consistently opposed secessionist movements, viewing them as a threat to national unity and stability. The memory of the brutal Civil War, coupled with fears of renewed conflict and fragmentation, has hardened the government's stance against Biafran separatism. Moreover, the international community has largely remained cautious in its approach to the issue, wary of intervening in Nigeria's internal affairs and reluctant to endorse secessionist movements that could set a precedent for other restive regions around the world. Diplomatic efforts to address the grievances of the Igbo people and facilitate a peaceful resolution to the Biafran question have thus far yielded limited results. In light of these challenges, some proponents of Biafran independence have advocated for nonviolent means of achieving their objectives, such as dialogue, negotiations, and grassroots mobilization. They emphasize the importance of building a broad-based coalition, both within Nigeria and internationally, to garner support for their cause and pressure the Nigerian government to address their grievances through peaceful means. Ultimately, the question of Biafran self-determination raises profound issues of justice, democracy, and human rights. It forces us to confront the legacy of colonialism, the complexities of ethnic diversity, and the tensions between state sovereignty and individual rights. While the path to Biafran independence may be fraught with obstacles and uncertainties, the underlying aspirations for freedom, dignity, and self-determination are undeniably legitimate and deserving of serious consideration. Ultimately, the question of Biafran self-determination raises profound issues of justice, democracy, and human rights. It forces us to confront the legacy of colonialism, the complexities of ethnic diversity, and the tensions between state sovereignty and individual rights. While the path to Biafran independence may be fraught with obstacles and uncertainties, the underlying aspirations for freedom, dignity, and self-determination are undeniably legitimate and deserving of serious consideration. As Nigeria grapples with its past and charts its future, the quest for Biafran independence serves as a poignant reminder of the enduring quest for justice and equality in a rapidly changing world.